Hi class, today we're going to be going over chapter 11 about caffeine. Caffeine pharmacology. Xanthines are the class of chemicals to which caffeine belongs. This is a Greek word meaning yellow, which is the color of the residue that remains after xanthines are heated with nitric acid until dry. The three xanthines of primary importance are caffeine, theophylline, and theobromine. Caffeine has the greatest effect on the body out of all three of these. The time course of caffeine, peak blood levels are reached 30 minutes after ingestion. Max CNS effects are not reached for about 2 hours, but onset begins at 30 minutes. The half-life in humans of caffeine is about 3 hours and no more than 10% is excreted unchanged. Increase of urine output and salivary flow show tolerance. Dependence on caffeine is a real thing. Psychological and physical dependence, that is. Taking sides. Caffeine use disorder. DSM-5 does not include the caffeine in substance use disorder category, but they did release a statement saying there are withdrawal symptoms from the consumption of caffeine. Drugs in depth. The caffeine craze, buying a dream. You have to think about whether people need caffeine or if they are convinced they need caffeine to work harder in a world where you can buy many different caffeinated products. The mechanism of action, adenosine, is an inhibitory neurotransmitter through which caffeine acts. Caffeine stimulant actions result from the blocking the receptors for this inhibitory effect. Physiological effects. CNS stimulation. Coffee nerves is a thing where you can get jittery, and there's also a decrease in drowsiness when the CNS is stimulated. High dose levels would be needed to affect autonomic centers of the brain. Dilation of vascular muscles and constriction of blood vessels occur with the consumption of caffeine, and that constriction of blood vessels might help with migraines. High dose levels can increase heart rate, and the basal metabolic rate may rise in chronic users. Behavioral effects. Stimulation. The effects of caffeine depend on the difficulty of the task, the time of day, and how much the subject typically consumes. Headache. Can relieve headaches and migraines. As I said earlier, it's that constriction of blood vessels that would be the source of the relief from headaches and migraines. Other than withdrawal headaches being solved by more caffeine would just be getting out of withdrawal. Hyperactivity, inconsistent results that caffeine can decrease hyperactivity. Sobering up, coffee does not lower BAC, but it might arouse the drinker. That drinker still has a high BAC and could be of danger if they get in a car or anything. Drugs in depth, caffeine and panic attacks. Caffeine can trigger panic attacks in people with a history of panic disorder. That's all. Thank you.